happens naturally because it's just who she is, and those kinds of people find each other. So, ladies, if you're seeing a man that's looking for a certain thing, so obviously the physical appeal is important. Don't get me wrong. Like, don't ever get that wrong. Like, you know, like that's important. But at the same time, who you are, you'll find the person that's willing to adjust and change so that you all can be happy together, as opposed to you got to fit my rules.
But see, let me tell you something that you missed out on. It ain't that she does it; it's that she notices it. Cause we've all been with women who didn't know the stuff about us. They taught us stuff about us as we were going through the relationship. That was one of the things that I
Yeah,
that I love about Trina. She pointed out things that other women let go, and I'm the same person, but they never noticed these little things. They never noticed some of the little habits that I had that I didn't even notice because they became second nature. And she's like, "Why do you do this? Why do you do that?" And I'm thinking, "Damn,"
But see,
and I was like, "Damn,
that's the key right
go ahead."
there. Is you said she pointed out things about yourself, right? So the not really big on the notion of a like what's in a man is going to be in a man, and I believe what he's destined to be is what he's going to be if that's what he wants to do. And it all comes down to um, what's inside of the man. So with Trina pointing out things in these are things in you, and she sees something that you can do better that'll make you a better person. But at the end of the day, that is in you. And I think a lot of times women um, make the mistake of seeing the him to be in him instead of seeing the man that he actually is. You understand what
that's a
I'm
good
saying? His
point.
potential
Yeah,
outshines what he actually can do. And so then that's when, you critiquing him becomes pressure for him, and it becomes, you know what I'm saying? Like if my
Yeah,
do this better, my first thought is, well, one, I want to do it to the point where how dare you tell me I could do it better because I'm doing it the best. You understand what I'm saying? That's just my first instinct. I want to do it better
right.
then. But I think, if it's not meant for me to be doing this, then her doing that becomes pressure because it's forcing me to change. And I think change comes from within. There is no, you will not run across a woman that is going to cause you to change. It's just the woman that you run across when you're in the time in your life when you're ready to change. And I think that you should limit the women you're around while you're toxic. And I think no matter how great a man is now, we've all been toxic at some point, you know? And I
absolutely.
think when you're in that point, be honest with yourself and be honest with the women you're dealing with.
But
And
that's
that's
a
a good
hard
point
thing.
too, man. That's how you end up.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's how you end up having women that find these men that they're basically raising somebody that they just see the
Hmm.
potential in them, and now all of a sudden they trying to be a mother to him. Nah, somebody else already raised him, right? So your job, if you have children, is to raise that young man to be somebody's husband and somebody's father. But for in terms of your relationship, nah, you're not raising him. Like you're helping him. Yeah, that's one thing. But trying to create something based on what the potential you see is one thing. Seeing the potential in him and helping him achieve that is something totally different.
Right. Like I think, to speak to that point, it's almost like it's a difference between seeing a man who can be somebody, so I buy him the clothes so that he looks like somebody. I put him in the car so that he looks like somebody. And that's different than um, seeing a man who looks like he can be somebody. He has an idea about a business, and I invest in the business because I have the capital. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
That is different. You see what I mean? So
right.
if you see a man that has potential, I'm not the type to say, because honestly, I have been that man that had potential, and like Dee said, the woman seen something in me, and she is at a higher status in life, saying at that time than I was. And she was willing to
Hmm.
work with me, and for lack of a better word, she made a good gamble, because I could have been pretending, I could have been, you know what I mean, and it worked out. And unfortunately, that's how it is for women. It's a gamble, you know what I mean. You never really know
Right,
somebody till you know
right.
Right. And let me go to ML says something, and this is one of the things I harp on too. The term good is relative. When a person claims that of themselves, it's incumbent upon the other person to ask leading questions to determine if their good aligns with what you define as good. And I always talk about it. I
them.
hate
Agree.
when when women say, "Oh, I'm a good woman." Well, what makes you a good woman? For me, I cook, I clean. Well, I don't eat a lot and I don't mess up, so that don't make you a good woman for me. That just means you know,
Right.
yeah, you to me you sound like Hazel. I need something more than that. You know, for the brother who eat a lot and is kind of messy, he needs a woman who cooks and cleans to help him out. And I tell people, it sounds good when we love to say we know our value, but the truth is, you only work what the market is willing to pay for you. And sometimes we overvalue ourselves and we keep trying to upsell ourselves, but we upselling to people who ain't gonna purchase what we selling. So you got to realize that, hey, wrong consumer, wrong time. Move on. Everything ain't gonna work for
Hmm.
everybody. And again, as we talk in whole, it's the same way with friendships. I got 3 pages in this show page, but I don't have a lot of people I would even call friends or even share my number with. Me and Omega ain't never met, but we've talked more. We talked more than twice. You know what I'm saying? We shared each other's phone number. If he got something he want to ask me, he can feel free to text me because y'all know ain't gonna answer the phone. He can text me, and we gonna get in touch with each
Nope.
other. I can't say that about everybody because everybody is not receptive, and at a point you have to start making decisions that are good for us. Uh, you know, we ain't exchanging no money or nothing, but what is it I can get from Omega? What is it I can offer Omega so that it ain't a one-sided friendship? These are things that come in time when you're dealing with people. A lot of women love to use that phrase, what you call it? Potential. And when you ask them, where do you see this potential from? They talking about what they see in general. I need to know what you see in me because I'm not Omega. I'm not LeBron and they not me. So all of us got potential, but it take that right woman for us to find out what's potential for us. Because if you bring me, a plan that will work great for Omega and don't work for me, don't mean that it don't mean I don't like it. It just mean it don't work for me. So it ain't gonna hold no water. Which is why I was saying, like when you were talking about LeBron, I need a woman who notices something about me, not about men in general, but about DVP, that she said this is how this brother need to be pushed. Omega need a woman who's gonna say these are his weaknesses, these are his strengths. I'm gonna make him stronger than he was, and your weaknesses ain't gotta become strengths. They just need not to be weaknesses. What do I need to be helped at? When Trina was like, I'm gonna start doing your administrative work for you because I got a ton of paperwork from all the stuff that was going on. She's just picking up stuff, doing stuff. Bam, bam. You know, we need a woman who's gonna help us become who we are, and we feel the same way about her. When she said she wanted to do something, I'm like, knock it out. And that's part of building a healthy relationship with a woman.
Gotcha. And I think also we got to keep in mind, when we're pushing each other, and this is for men and women, um, the way that you intend something doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to come across, to the person way, that you're sending it. So a lot of times, um, you what can feel like encouragement or pushing to be great for you can feel like bullying or over aggression, for the other person, or nagging, or fill in the blank. You know what I mean? So I think that you also have to be receptive to the person that you're dealing with, and to how they're receiving what you're saying. If you're trying to, if your overall goal is to build the woman up, and every time you have a conversation she's crying, then clearly, regardless of what you're saying in your mind, clearly it's not working. You know what I'm saying? You need to come to a different approach. And same with a woman. If every time you're having a conversation with a man, and your ultimate goal is to make him better, and he's angry and he feels dejected, or less than, then clearly, there's a different approach that needs to be taken.
And but you know what it is though. Even with that, a lot of it is 60-40. Part of it is the message. Part of it is the messenger. Some people we not gonna take no advice from, as right as they may be, because they don't inspire us as that person that we want to take advice from. So even when
True.
they doing it, if it ain't somebody who we feeling, that message is never gonna come across right. But if it's something that we're open to, I mean, like I said, we all use social media for what we use it for. There are some people when they talk, we actually start reading and listening to their posts. When other people talk, we get on the hand and keep moving because we don't value them and we don't know a lot about them. But from what we've seen, they don't strike us as intelligent people or people who can offer anything meaningful to us, even though they may be. But that's not what they present. and we treat them as such. So somebody can give you great information. Somebody told me to start a business a long time ago, but it was somebody who didn't have a reason for me to start a business other than you should start a business. When I started my business, I had somebody telling me about what I was good at and how I could monopolize off what I was good at, not just a generic, oh, you need to start a business, find something that you like. And, if you find something you like, you'll never work a day in your life. And that's BS, because even if you like it, it just ain't hard work, but it's still work. It's work getting money, period. I hate when people talk about it ain't hard. Whatever. I like doing this show. This is hard work for me. I mean, it's hard, it's work. It ain't hard work, but it's still work. So the message that we get still needs to come out from somebody who we don't mind receiving it from. I can call LeBron and tell him something I think he did wrong, and you know what LeBron gonna say? He gonna say, "Appreciate it, big bro," and that's it. He ain't gonna sit back and cuss me out and ask me who am I or why am I his business or none of that. Or make it to me you the same way. But again, we had to socially interact before we even got to the point where was cool with exchanging phone numbers and ideas. And a lot of people just come at you so hard sometimes, like they the expert and know everything. Come on, and we're not gonna take that message well, especially if it's not from somebody who we believe has our best interest at heart, and we don't know them like that yet. And we all filter people out, and when we do relationships, ladies, we do it the same way. As you get older, that big booty don't mean nowhere near what it means. It's still cute, but it ain't a priority for us no more. We gonna need somebody who's got something up here, because we've accepted the fact once we pass 35 that all of this is gonna fade. All of this is gonna fade. I had last 2 weeks ago, I think, one of my guests. She said she need a man. She want an older man because she need a man who need to understand that her breast ain't gonna stand up all the time. He gonna have to lift it up to suck it. And and I laughed at her, but that was so appropriate because when you 20, you ain't into that. But as you get older, that becomes less important. You still want somebody cute to look at, but you want to build stuff now. You want to, and I tell people it's about having the memories. If you got to start off somewhere, and then you got memories that you can build off of as we all decline and physically, but you still got good times that you remember. And ladies, when a guy don't want you, like I was just telling Regina, if you trying to help a guy out and he ain't receptive to it, then ladies, you got a choice. You have to make a choice for you. Because why you sit there trying to make a dude be something that he don't want to be? If he telling you that he don't want to be shit and he cool with that because you taking care of him, don't start with all men ain't shit. Don't start with what a good man is. You don't want a good man. You got a man who is defiantly against you, who don't want to do no better, but you still sexing him, you still feeding him, and he still ain't looking for a job. He just want to drive your car and take you to work. You created that monster, and he's comfortable with that
Right.
monster. So why would he change? Why would he change?
He
Well,
not
he
going
should
to.
want to do better,
Easy answer.
right? But if you being fed and fuck, what's the change? You
And
know,
Darren, you drive a good point though, man. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
go ahead.
That's a good point. So there's the other thing too is how you're attracting who you're attracting, because you're going to attract a certain kind of guy, and likewise with guys, you're going to attract a certain kind of woman based on what you're using to attract them. So don't be shocked when you get the guy that need a ride to work if you're looking for the dude that's, just out there trying to go get it and live for today. Find the guy that's got the Civic, not the one that's
Right.
got the Mercedes that's not going to work next week. You know what I mean? And I'm using that as a loose example, but you get my point, right?
But and using that point, when you find that guy with that Mercedes, find out if he leasing or renting, because maybe that guy with the
Bam.
Civic is putting his money other places. And as we get older, we learn not to fall so much for the book cover. We want to see what's inside the
Right.
book.
Right.
We I'm gonna speak for these two brothers now. I'm sure we've all met a woman who on the outside was a blazing 10, and we had to have it, and that was cool in our 20s. As we get older, guess what? We ain't looking for tens no more. They're not even not on the outside. We still want we still want at least a 7 on the outside. But we actually do need more on the inside, especially when we at this stage now where we're truly building. We got kids we gotta look out for. We wanna
Hmm.
man, LeBron said, having a girl is the worst thing ever for a dude because it make you change everything you do.
Everything.
Especially
Yeah.
especially when you When you a good man and you in her life, whether you and the mama together or not, because you know now you got to make a great impression, because you want her to know what she should accept from dudes by how she watch you interact with her mom, whether they together or not. You still treat her
That's
mom with
right.
respect. And you know, as we slowly transition, this is one of my biggest issues, man. How we treat, and I know, honey ain't here, so I can say this, but how we treat our baby mama. I don't understand
Come on. Come
why
on.
she becomes, some relationships just don't work. I was a great dad. I've always been a great dad. My first two marriages, I was an okay husband, but that had nothing to do with my kids. And when I got my first divorce, you know, I could say she messed up because I offered to give her way more than the course was gonna give her because I told her she could stay in the family house and I would pay that for 18 years. So my son moved out. She thought she could get more money by going to the court. They gave her less money, but I wasn't gonna argue about the money because I understand. One, she was a good mother. We just couldn't mesh as husband and wife. And the money I wanted to give her was based on what I understood from other people. And I hear fellas too often talking about what she need this for, what she need that for. And this is one of the conversations that, when I see dudes going into it, I have to explain them because you don't want to hear it from your baby mama because you mad at her. But see, when my son gets sick in the middle of the night and I'm living in Buckhead, who got to stay up with him all night? She
That's
does.
right.
So who, when he's sick and he can't go to the nursery, who gonna end up staying at home with him and missing a day of work? She is. I'm gonna go out
That's
and do
right.
my thing, and we miss this. We don't understand this, and I had to understand. As long as my kids are doing okay, I'm gonna make sure their mother is doing okay. So
That's
you
right.
saying, oh, the baby don't need but 200? Why she need 500? For all them times that I don't have to wake up in the middle of the night, for all them times I don't have to call in from work. Because if she's an hourly employee, if my son got the flu or chicken pox and she got to miss 3 4 days out of work, who's supposed to pay that? Because I'm still living my best life. And when I hear dudes talk,
Hmm.
they spend so much effort worried about what she doing. One question: how is your child doing? If your child happy, make sure his mama stay happy. We, when she got to pay for that medicine, when she got to pay for them doctor visits, that money comes straight out of her pocket. Right then, she only getting a check from me once a month because these dudes they not offering no money during these times. They not cool enough with say, hey, my son's sick. Well, listen, what? Cause we cool. I'll come over there and stay while you go to work, or I'll come and scoop them up, and I'll miss a couple of days of work. Most guys ain't doing all of that. We so worried about who she might be sleeping with, we ain't gonna do nothing. We cool with being a dad at 4 days out the month, maybe, and then all we want to do is play. Fellas, for this healthy relationship to exist, you still got to have a relationship with your baby mama, the child's other parent. You made that
I
decision.
think
Go
I
ahead.
think that also, and just speaking from my experience, you I think you definitely have to keep a relationship with the child's mother. But if you're not going to, then you need to be doing above and beyond with the kids. Like, you can afford to not have a relationship with your baby mother if you have custody of the children and let her deal with the kids. But the problem a lot of times arises where we're not financially in a place to do that, and we can't take our kids, because I know a lot of women who would switch with a man in a minute if you want to stay with these kids, and you know what I'm saying, I'll pay you child support and you sit up here, and you know what I mean. But we are not together, or have reached that place in life where we've matured and know to take care of our money and invest our money, and start looking towards the future. We're not there yet, so we can't even take care of our own children without her. Whereas the opposite is usually not true. She can, take care of the kids without us. And a lot of times you hear a man say, oh, well, she uses welfare or SNAP or EBT or WIC or whatever. But, as quiet as it's kept, we can get that too.
Right.
We can get
Exactly.
that too. If you had a place to keep for your kids to lay their head, and you are making below a certain amount of money, and you got your children, you can go and get every single benefit that she can. So there's really, not an excuse. Well, I'll say the only excuse slash reason it would be because you're not, so you don't have anywhere for you to lay your kids, lay their head at. And a lot of times, we bouncing from women to women, getting, financially stable, and I would prefer. I look at it like this as a man, and speaking on the real man, that instead of bouncing from women to women, I think that you should be stable, and women to other women bounce from you. If that woman is down with you and she come and she stay with you. If she's not, let her leave. Don't chase her, hands on her. Don't do none of that. Let her leave. Let the next woman come, and you know what I'm saying. I think that it should be more like that, more than us bouncing from women to women, because we're creating these kids that we can't take with us.
Hmm.
Exactly.
And
And we want to blame women for so much because and this is one of them things that do say, oh, you simping for women. No, I understand what being a real man is, and if you make that mistake because you're so into getting it raw that's all you want, then you got to accept the consequences of that. Yeah, it take two to make the baby, but ain't but one of y'all claiming to be a man, ain't but one of y'all begging this woman for submission. But what have you done that's submittable to? You went and dropped off your seed. Now you living your best life. And I hate the phrase, I do what I can when I can. And don't get me wrong, there's a time when that's appropriate. But when you ain't got a lot of resources financial, give up your time. If you ain't working no real job,
Hmm.
you know, and I told sometimes just call up. If y'all have to go through the court system, whatever, call up and say, "Yo, babe, let me keep the kids for a few days, and you go hang out." I guarantee you, most women are not gonna say, "No, I don't want you to," because they want to get out too. They don't want five
That's the
days
way.
of constant. Go ahead.
That's the way you stay out of the court system. What you just said, and again,
Right.
speaking from my experience, um, uh, I haven't, like I said, being a man is a process. So I wasn't always the man I am today. So there were times, with my kids where, my baby mother was taking care of everything, footing the bill for everything, and I was that I do what I can when I can type of person. So I've been there. I think a lot of us uh, have been there, but I think that even in that moment, in my times where I don't have a dollar to give, like you said, I will come and get my kids. I will. Here's one thing I can say that I think not a lot of men can say is my baby's mother has never ever, not a day in her life, had to pay for childcare. Never, not one day. And she's never had to ask her mom or any of her uh, female friends to watch my kids ever. And that was my thing. Now, mind you, some people, aren't like me, but that's the way. That's how serious I took it. So to the point where I was even be in the streets with a stroller, in the streets with a car seat. You understand what I'm saying? Riding, doing things. My mama would be ashamed of with an infant in my back seat, because I would prefer that my seed is with me than they're with your homegirl that I don't like, or your mama who can't stand me, or what I'm saying, you while you angry, or your new boyfriend that you test driving. You understand what I'm saying? But I respect, although we're not in a relationship and I'm out king ding-a-ling swinging everywhere through the town, you still need your space to do what you got to do. And as a man, I can't tell you who you can sleep with and not sleep with around my son if I won't even come pick the little homie up. You understand what I'm saying? So
right,
that's how
facts,
I kind of always lived it with my kids, where what I'm saying, like I said, I don't care what I'm doing. We could be just getting dressed, about to go to the club. I'm hitting everybody up, bro. I'm about to leave out. My baby mom would hit me and be like, "Hey, can you watch them? I want to go do this." Yes, bring them over.
It, exactly. And that's the reason I picked you for this show, because when we was having that conversation, that was one of the things that you said, and I was like, let me get this brother, because he is the antithesis of what I'm talking about. He didn't have the financial means to do what I was doing for mine. He had the time, so you know what? He gave
Hmm.
up time, which at the end of the day, time is way more valuable than money, unless
right,
both people in a hardship. But he gave up his time so that the child's mother could go work, go do her things, lead her happy life. And then those are the
Right.
times when you truly don't need the court system. And I'm proud of it. I say, yeah, I love paying child support because I like going through the system, because it was one less check I had to worry about. They were gonna take it out regardless. It made my life easier. When I could do more
Hmm.
with time, I would do that. But at that stage, when LeBron knew me, I was probably working 70 to 90 hours, weekly, because working was what I knew. It was what I was born for. So I was a good provider. Well, I wasn't that great a teacher or a caretaker. I knew that she was. So I wanted to make sure that she had everything that she needed to be a good caretaker. But when she would call and say, my son was sick, oh, because I worked so much, I had a lot of vacation time. Hey, I can take off. What worked for both of us is that we both were what is it when you're not hourly? We were salary, so
Salary
we weren't,
employees, right?
yeah, we weren't really losing no money either way. But let me do what I can do. But you're gonna get this money. And when you start telling me your story, Omega, when I was watching it, I'm like, see, that's the brother I'm talking about right there. But I see a bunch of brothers who, you know, they ain't doing nothing, but they at the club every weekend. I see you at the strip club. You blowing $200, $300, $400. I see you on your Facebook. You popping bottles at the low club. But when your mama say something, who I do know, when she asks you for some money, you be like, damn, I just gave you $40 last week. I ain't working. I can't do this. I can't do that. But so your kid is supposed to wait till you get it. But you always got it. You got fresh shoes. You got fresh this. You got you a real gold necklace because you're telling everybody. But you ain't doing nothing because you so scared that the mama's gonna get ahead. You don't want her nails to look good for the next man. You don't want her to be happy for your child, which is extra stupid. And also said, I'm a grown man. No, dude, no, you're not. I take care of mine. Dude, if you buying a pack of diapers, you know how quick a baby go through diapers? What are you saying?
Right.
Oh man, I man, how much one dude? Yeah, man, I give her like 50 something, $50 a week. What? You got two kids, you giving her $50 a week? I got one. I'm paying 700. Two of my friends, they got one. One of them was paying 1,100. One was paying 1,400. You think you're really doing something with your $400 a week that you give when you can? I mean, $400 a month that you give when you can? Man, she wrong. She taking me to child support. Dude, what do you do for her? Do you go over there and fix stuff? See, I was a maintenance man. Let my child mother say something was wrong in the house. Oh, we ain't finna pay nobody. Let me come on over there and fix this. Cause I got skills. I got tools. She bought me some tools for my birthday. I can fix some shit. And again, when we talk about healthy relationships, you don't have to be in love with your child's parent anymore, but you do have to have love for her as it concerns your child, because for most of us,
Yeah.
the woman is the better caretaker. She is raising our child. How do
Right,
you not
right.
maintain a healthy relationship? Y'all ain't got to be Facebook friends or best buddies, but how do you not maintain a healthy relationship?
Hey, Darren, let me jump in and just say this real quick too, and I'm just gonna keep it real, and people gonna be mad at me for saying it, but it's just the truth. A lot of the problem is that men are afraid of what it means to be a parent to that kid. We are ill prepared for it, man. That's the first thing. And I don't have a sad story, right? I'm fortunate to have my father and my grandfather in my life, so I knew what certain things were supposed to look like. However, I
Right.
did not necessarily know what my daughter needed. I did not necessarily know what my relationships needed. Just because I saw what it meant to work hard, I knew what it meant to do all these kinds of things, how to protect, provide, but I was afraid. So you have to be vulnerable as a man to even expose yourself to learn how to do hair. My daughter would raise all kind of hell because of the way I did her hair, and I did it horribly, right? But the point is, you can't be afraid of it in order to do it. You got to go through that, man. You can't sit there and avoid it because, again, that goes back to manhood, right? So the male that's avoiding the challenge of growing is going to always just be a male. He's not going to ever be a man. Once you go through that challenge of, okay, I got to figure this out, that's where you grow. And for a lot of people like
But see,
myself, it was about having a kid.
I think a lot of times, not necessarily you in particular, but I just think people tend to forget uh, the problem and solution are both in the story that you said. Men are afraid, and you step up to the challenge and be vulnerable. But the reason why you're able to do that and males are not is you, like you said, I grew up with a father and a grandfather, and I know what
Right.
certain things are supposed to look like. And I think a lot of times and just, I grew up with a mother and a father in the home and mother and grandfather in the home also, which is, what I'm saying, we are, not necessarily the norm in our community. But I would just say,
Right.
um, with these lessons that we've learned, we have to also understand that our fellow brothers didn't learn to see the dynamic of masculine and feminine energy dwelling in a
Right.
home for decades. That's not
Right.
easy to do. And so I've seen my parents, the ups and the downs. It's not always basketball wives, but it's not also always Stepford wives. You know what I'm saying? And your parents, whoever they are,
Right.
gotta have a balance and finance, and they trying to juggle that balance, delicate balance, while watching after y'all badass. Excuse my language, and they chasing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And they gotta run you the football, and you understand what I'm saying? So most people never do
Mhm.
that. So when it comes to I have to do my hair or I have to cook today. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because yes, I could get McDonald's for my daughter, but dang, bro, if your kid, I mean, I ain't gonna say that because I don't want to be judgmental. I'll just say, how many times in a week should your kids eat McDonald's? And if you're a dad, bro, how many times are you gonna bring McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to be able to cook because this woman, especially if you have a woman that's cooking and she working, come
Right.
on now,
Right.
and all you do is work and send some money back and complain about the food. You're like, come on,
So So check it out though, Omega. So that's a good point too, right? So no matter how you're providing, it's the fact that you're spending that time with that kid, you learn stuff. So here's a funny example. Your baby mom come to you and say, hey, such and such, Junior needs some new shoes. Well, in your mind, I just gave you some money, so he should need no new shoes. But in reality, if you're spending the time with him, you realize, wait a minute, Buddy really does need some new shoes. He's growing super fast.
right,
But if you're not spending the
right,
time, you don't even have an opportunity to see that. The food thing, if you're not cooking, you may not even realize they may be allergic to, whatever this may be. But you just so big, you know what I mean? Like the idea that that time
yeah,
gives you the exposure and you therefore learn from that exposure to your own child.
most definitely, most
And
definitely,
but and that's the good point. When I would get my son, she would say, "What do you need?" I say, "You know what? I don't need nothing because I'm gonna help him. Every time I get him, because unfortunately I do recognize the system. When I get him, most time we doing playtime because you taking care of
Right,
schoolwork with him. Give me some school stuff with him
hmm,
because I'm gonna make sure he still gets some because I don't want you to be the sole parent. Plus, I want to know if he's learning. But we're gonna go
right,
shopping. I'm gonna get him some clothes. I'm gonna get him some shoes because I want my son. I still want my son to be fly. I don't want him dressing. And it's funny. All my kids, they didn't like their mom dressed like mom. We don't want you to take us shopping. We want dad to take us shopping. You don't buy the right clothes. And so I took pride in that. So I'm giving stuff because one time I got mad because I said, "Can you send some clothes?" Because I was a little short. And she didn't want to send no clothes. Babe, all the clothes he got, every time I buy 4, 5, 8 outfits, they all come home with him. You send me an empty suitcase, I send you a full suitcase back. I got his toothbrush at my house. He real real he had one set of clothes in my house because every time I got him something, I sent him home with it because I wanted to make sure that because kids
that's
do
right,
grow. They grow
that's
every
right.
time they
right,
go to sleep. So I want to make sure that
Mm-hmm.
this ain't got to be no expense that you got to worry about. Unless it's just something that you want him to have, I'm gonna keep him looking fly. He had every pair
Mm-hmm.
of Nikes known to any little kid. But and when I tell people these are the things you got to do because me and her didn't get along, I knew she was the better caretaker. I knew she was good at that. I, when I got to wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning to try to take care of him, I'm still groggy because I've been working 10, 15, 18 hours. Now, listen, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take care of this. Even when we were living in the same household, listen, you do this. Don't worry about certain things. I'm a better provider. You're a better caretaker. That's how we gonna do our split. You're gonna do more of the caretaker. I'm gonna make sure you don't want for nothing. And we gotta have these healthy relationships so that whether we have boys or girls, they know what it look like. We don't. We can't stay in love sometimes for whatever reason. Shit happens. But we can still be cool. We can still be cordial. We can still do the right thing because we do have a common link, which is our child. As long as my child is happy,
hmm,
anybody who's helping to take care of my child is gonna be happy because I want to make sure if they taking the time to be part of the village, they deserve something. Especially if I'm claiming to be the provider, I'm not going to sit here and,
but we
and, and say,
also
"Yeah, I'm a caretaker."
we we also gotta speak for the entire gamut and the entire spectrum of women because there are men who do and take that we're just and that woman is just gonna be happy and
Right,
and and, and it comes back to what you said in the beginning, you chose that woman. And
And we have to accept that
crazy,
responsibility.
right? You had the signs when you first met her. You know what I mean? And you still chose to stick around. You still chose to plant your seed there, and now you got to water it. Ready. You know what I mean? Until the flower blooms. So you can't just leave just because you plant a seed and I don't want to say unfertile soil, but I just say soil that you can't get along with.
Right, but and that's because we had a different mindset, and it's so crazy because when I did a post about, I just did a random post about wearing condoms, and there's tons of guys they ain't wearing one, but what made way more depressing to me was women who refuse to use one. So y'all going into this, you ain't using no condoms, ain't nobody using birth control. What's the plan? I had said before that before in my world, there should
Plan
be a
B.
sex contract. Anybody in a relationship, if we have a baby, because we discussed this, of course, ain't nobody everybody know how not to have babies, but if we have a baby, this will be the deal. Because hell, if one of us want one and she wouldn't have one, but she don't want to take care of it, but oh, I just want a baby that bad, because dudes love to tell that lie. We've heard dudes tell that lie. Oh, if you get pregnant, I'm gonna be with you forever, and forever don't last but 3.5 weeks. If that's what you want to do, sign that contract that you're gonna take care of the baby, that you want custody of the baby. As I think you said to LeBron, a lot of women will give up custody if you truly want it. They want a break. They need a
Yeah.
break. I don't care what no
That's right.
woman
They
tell you.
need it.
Taking care of a child 5 days a week, sometimes 14, because we only get them every other weekend. But
Yeah.
taking care of a child
Right.
5 days a week and it being business, because mothers and I appreciate a lot of women who don't complain when we get the child as the absentee parent. We get them for fun time. We don't have to do nothing serious. We don't have to hear none of the teacher reports or nothing. The mother, 80% of the time, has got to go through all the hardships. All we doing is fun time stuff. We going to the park, we taking pictures, we going to play, then we dropping them back off. And Lord knows if they sick, we not even going to exercise visitation. Oh, he's sick. Oh, well, you might as well go on and keep. So now she don't even get that weekend off. But what we gonna do? We gonna go out and party. We gonna go out and club. Well, now I'm working. Okay, well you working and she can't do nothing. Shoot her that money. But see,
Right.
now, them Jordans is coming out next week. I wanted to get them. I wanted to get that new Biggie album. Whatever it is that we make excuses for, we got to understand that. And is that right? We don't want to be held sexually accountable, because then everything is her fault. She could have said no. She could have said this. But she fell for your lie. You told her you was gonna be there. You told her you was gonna try this pull-out method that never works. But all these little things. But we want to be grown men.
It
We
works
want a woman
sometimes.
to submit to us. No, that was luck, bro. That wasn't a pull-out. That was luck. But
Right, right,
I was say that. Ask me, ask me how many kids I got.
how many kids you got? How many kids you got,
10.
Omega? 10. Good Google
right.
move.
Yeah.
Whew.
See, you know what? Remind me when we meet, we ain't gonna
Yeah.
shake hands. Cause see, my dad got 10, and I won't shake his hand. Cause I told you shit is contagious. That's how I had my last son. I shook his hand. Me and my wife weren't even talking at the time, and she got pregnant just because I shook his hand. So I told him, no, bro, we just gonna throw the deuces or whatever, but don't shake my
Fist
hand.
bump. Right. Right.
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't fist bump because I don't want no contact. Deuces from over there. You contagious.
Hey, but Dan, but you're right though. That's the point though. Like the idea of us being sexually accountable. You, as a man, you said whatever it was that you needed to say to get what you were trying to get. Now, once you got it,
Right.
Yeah.
now it's a different ball game. And don't get me wrong, like every woman is not going to be the perfect situation for you in terms of working with you. It's some women out there that really use the kid. Unfortunately for me, that wasn't my experience, but I've seen it. They use the kid as a tool. And guess what? As a man, my personal opinion now, but as a man, you got to suck that up. So what if she's not the ideal baby mom? Because you said everything you needed to her to get what you wanted. So now you got to
Right.
suck it up and deal with that, bro. Like it sucks. I get it.
Yeah, because you gave her that promotion. And like I
Right.
said, and that's one of them things, that's one of them things that when we are responsible, like I said, I used to blame my first wife for our divorce because I was irresponsible. As I got older, I realized, hey, I was a man in a relationship. I could have got the divorce. I wasn't happy. Why? I cheated because she told me the only way she would divorce me if I cheated. But like Omega said, I didn't realize the system worked for me too. I could have went to the courthouse and I could have filed for divorce. I wanted her to do
Mm-hmm.
it. So, that was a little boy in me though. Cause I ain't have to cheat. I could have just filed that paperwork just like she did and got it. But we're so scared of the system because, again, we don't want to be accountable or responsible. So what we can do is when they go, we can blame everything. Oh, she took me to child support. Why she take you to child support?
Why
Were
she
you
have
helping her
to?
out? No, no. But this
Right.
thing, I was doing. I was doing whenever I could. I was shooting or something. Whenever you could. So when your baby was hungry, you think your baby was just hungry whenever you felt like you could pay for it? No. So she didn't have no choice. You made her take you because you could have been like Omega and worked out something with her. Hey, this is what we need to do. I'm gonna help you out as much as I can with this, and this. You gotta you the money maker now. So let me step up my game and help you so you can make some more money and you ain't got to worry about paying for daycare because
Hmm.
daycare ain't cheap. So right there,
No.
Right.
let we just gonna say daycare is easily 150 a week. So he just knocked out 150. So that's his support. And if he keeping up more than that and doing other thing, and she got peace of mind. She ain't going crazy all the time because now she ain't got to work, take care of the baby, feed everybody, wait for your trifling ass to do something, and keep repeating that cycle every day because it's gonna get old. And
And then another
it,
thing
you
I
know
think
it.
that we need to keep in mind as men, like you said earlier, it's not about the dollar. Time is more important than this. Yes, our ego wants to be able to buy our son the Nikes that he want, and if we can, a lot of times a man won't come around because you don't have $1 in your pocket, so you don't want to come around because you broke and you're gonna ask you for something. Whatever it is, make. But I think that we need to keep in mind from a child's perspective, put yourself, you know, back in time to when which Jordan that a nice little dress and school clothes, or your dad having a tea party with you. You understand what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So from the children's
Right.
perspective, I think that's why it's important to spend the time with them, even if you don't have the money. A lot of women, the average woman will understand when you say, "Listen, man, you know my situation," because the same way you knew her when you met her, when she met you, she knew you was broke. You was living on her couch,
Right.
so she didn't magically just grow a job. So I don't have the money, but I have this time. I'll come get them. Let me do this. Go do what she needs to do, wants to do. You know what I mean? And when you're doing that, stay out of her business. You understand what I'm saying? Give her her space and take it is because, like I said, even if you don't like her and you don't want to do anything for her, from the child's perspective, I think any child would rather spend time with their parent than to have a gift. And that's just in my opinion.
And
Fact.
look, as long as it ain't Christmas. When Christmas time come, once they give something, they don't
Oh
give a
yeah,
damn shit
yeah,
about
it's over.
you. You know, but that's true, and it comes down to that. And I can say, with one of my kids' mother, when she dated, because I always encourage her to date, and we would go over there. I see, are you serious with this guy? She like, yeah. All right, let's have a talk. So we'd all sit
That's
and
right.
talk, understand, because I can say this with pride. My kids were good kids. So I can tell, dude, if my son is disrespectful to you, you need to handle that. You ain't got to call me because you look like a punk if you call me and say, hey, your son being disrespectful. But I know my son ain't disrespectful, so I don't have no problem handing over the reins to you. But understand, if you hurt my son, or now, even if you hurt his mother, who is my son's caretaker, you going to have some problems. See, I know
That's
she's
right.
stubborn. I know she going to make you cuss her out. That's what she do. But understand this: as my son's mother, you ain't gonna never put your hands on her. As my son's father, if you do something to him that he don't deserve, because he's an honest boy, he'll tell me when he deserve. When his mama beat him, he called me crying. I asked him why she do it. He told me. I called her and I said, "What you need me to do?" You know what I'm saying? Do I need to beat him when I get him? But we all on one accord. And like I said, we wasn't lovers no more, but we was cool because we had a link. And she thought it was cool that I would meet her boyfriends. But
Mhm.
shit, when he came to live with me, we all had another family
You're
meeting.
supposed
Understand
to.
this is what. You know, when they here, they under our rules. When you get them, they under your rules. Don't try to run our house. I ain't gonna try to run your house. Anytime somebody don't like the situation, apply for custody. But we not finna have this. Why you doing this? Why you? Nah. You got to make your house work for you. And I ain't finna sit here and try to regulate when you can and can't have sex because I'm still slick, undercover, jealous, and hating, or I want you back or whatever. That's just not cool. And when I see dudes, oh man, she out there doing this, she hoeing that. Dude, she was hoeing when she met you. You just got caught up. She ain't just turned into a hoe after you. So, but you knew that when you decided to go up in a raw. So let's not
Right.
blame her for this. Let's not blame her for this, cause you knew. So accept some accountability. You keep talking about you grown, you want to talk about to address you as king and all this, but what you doing? Where's your legacy? You see your kids whenever you can, but you at the club according to your Facebook and Instagram, damn near every weekend. But you ain't got no money. I seen you at the strip club. I seen you throw $200 away. But the picture that you put on Facebook with your kids, I'm that dude. That's the same picture from 6 months ago. Your kid ain't got no new clothes or no shoes. I know them shoes ain't lasted 6 months unless you raising a midget. But when dudes try to fall for other dudes or continue
Little
living that lifestyle,
person,
you know, and they get mad. They be like, "Yo, man, why you always calling dudes out? These women gotta do this." Hey, listen, I ain't never been a woman, but I was raised by one, and I knew what she had to go through because my mama had to raise me. So yeah, when I see dudes that ain't stepping up, yeah, I'm gonna call you out on it because you punking out because you keep claiming you a grown man, this grown man that, but your seed ain't the most important thing to you. And if your seed ain't the most important thing to you, because I will give you this, you should be earning a lot of money. Make that be important so that you can take care of your seed. But all these girls, all these shoes, if they more important than your seed, then you ain't shit, dude. No, you always trying to get women on your side. I ain't got, dude. I live with a woman. The woman sit by me when I do my show. I ain't trying to get nobody. She right there. So who am I simping for? I can say what I say because I see what I see, and I'm a demand that men step up. And one lady said, "Well, men need to call out other men who doing wrong." Well, I don't know he doing wrong unless you tell me. And every man's business is not my business. Like I said, I deal with these two brothers because anytime one of us doing something wrong, it ain't nothing for us to shoot a text or call and say, "Hey man, you need to step up," or "You did this," or "You did this," or more importantly, "Hey man, why did you say this?" And then we have an exchange of information, which is why healthy relationship is good because I could say something that Omega may not get. And he me thinking, damn, why you say that, D? And then when I tell him the mindset behind it, he's like, damn, he done said a couple times this show. He said, damn, I ain't even think about that. Because sometimes you need to have a conversation with people who think unlike you to figure out how they got to that. And then you got enlightenment. Now you learning because damn, I ain't never think of that. And we so rigid because I'm a man and I think I'm older than both of y'all. I'm the oldest, so whatever I say should go. And we act like we believe that shit. Omega done said some shit to me, made me scratch my head. This one made me go do some research because he challenged me. All right, let me go. Let me be a little bit smarter now. Then when I came back with him, we was there. LeBron did the same thing. He like, well, why you do that? Hold on, bro. Hold on. I'm the oldest. But
And the
as they
grades
say,
too, man. You remember?
hey, don't get blocked. But as they say, iron
I'm
sharpen
waiting
iron.
on mine.
Yeah, iron sharpen iron. So we supposed to challenge each
That's
other,
right.
you know.
That's
And
right.
even it don't come across as disrespectful, even though if it was for somebody else that would be disrespectful. But I understand these brothers' intent. They ain't asking me to challenge me. You know what they asking me for? Because they want to understand how I got there. They ain't telling me I'm wrong. They just want to know how I got there. Because they need to know the way.
That's right.
Well, I ain't think about that. Like I said, they say shit. I'm like, damn, they ain't even crossed my mind. And Regina, it
Hmm.
ain't that you gotta be willing to learn something new. You
But
gotta
you know what? You know
accept
what?
what you going. Go ahead.
No, I was just simply gonna say to your point. When I think a lot of time with our community, we have problems with just because I don't agree with your point or what you're saying does not mean I don't mess with you. It doesn't mean that I'm against you. Just because I don't want to vote for the person you vote for, don't mean I hate you. That don't mean that. against the culture, against the cause, just because I don't want to fill in the blank. And so, I think that cuts both in the same way. Like I tell people, like this, if I agree with what he's saying, it's just I agree with what he's saying. It doesn't affect him as a person. I might not agree with him as a person. He could still say that I agree with, or I could look like a big brother and he say something I don't agree with. You understand what I'm saying? I think we as people need to hold on, and especially us. You know what I'm saying? Just because we with each other as men, it doesn't mean that I'm your enemy. That don't mean I'm a hater. I just think what you're saying is BS. And what I'm saying, like you say, I'm calling you out on it. Or even if it's not BS, I just disagree. This is your side of the line. This is my side of the line. I don't have to fight you because there's a line, but I can acknowledge the line. I don't think that's you understand what I'm saying. And you can say that to me, but that don't necessarily mean you hate me as a person. I agree with what you're saying or what you're doing, and that doesn't necessarily affect how I view you as a person. And I think a lot of times we get hung with that, like even on Facebook, like I can't see any post on Facebook would make you stop being somebody's friend in real life. Like maybe it happens, I don't know, but for me, it's never nothing really that serious on, because when it starts to get that serious, you can easily close the laptop down, put your phone in your pocket. And, you know what I'm saying? Like it's never a reason like where we meeting up the box. I just don't understand it. Like and I agree with you, or sometimes I don't agree with you, but you still my sister. You know what I mean? As black men, I think that if we took that mentality and that approach with a lot more things and a lot more people in life, in our then relationship better, because and thinking speaking of the part I was talking about before was it's men to create the healthy relationship. A woman's responsibility to make the healthy was the post that I had put. Speaking to that point, though, I believe, like I said, if you're in a relationship and you view the woman from the point of we may look at it as nagging or she's being bitchy or feeling the, but honestly she just disagrees with what you're doing and that she hates you. A lot of times we as fellas take things to the extreme. You know what I'm saying? Like your lady will be like, you come in with some food or something. Oh, I don't like Sprite, and we just take it to 1,000. Like I ain't buying no food ever again. Then you gonna starve.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. A lot of times, bro, we understand it's not. She just don't like this. It does not that she don't like you, and that applies with me. I just don't like this. It don't mean that I don't like you, and y'all ladies have to understand that. I don't like you. You know what I mean? I think sometimes we have to separate what and who what somebody and who they. We have to separate those somehow.
Well, it's like the example I always give with Malcolm and Martin. Understand, two people can be meaning well and have two different ways of getting there. Me disagreeing with you does not mean I dislike you. But understand, you can't
Right.
make me like you if I don't like you either. And a lot of times, what we hate is when people challenge us as authority figures, because the one something I can say, and I can use LeBron specifically in this because I was an instructor, I never avoided questions because I need to explain to you why I want you to think that this way is the best way, or here's your choices and this is why you should make this choice versus this time. If I can't explain it to you, then no matter what it is I'm thinking, it's all BS or it's just my personal opinion. If I can't sit back and say these are some hardline facts, this is why I choose to do this based on these facts, other than this, it's like, well, why are you going that way? Because I want to, and that's just the way you should go. Then nobody should listen to me. I should have a reason for wanting to go that way, especially if I want people to follow me. And people get upset about that, and they don't like alternatives because what worked for you don't work for me. I can get up, and get ready in 10 minutes most of the time. I gotta comb this. You saw that hair Omega got? Omega can't even take a 10-minute shower with all that hair because it's gonna take his hair 2 hours to dry if it get wet. I don't have that problem. I can wash and go. So he can't do the same 10-minute routine. So me telling him to do something and be ready in 10 minutes, that don't work. I'm like, man, I did it. Why you can't do it? And we got to
Right.
give up that mentality. Like everybody's lifestyle is our lifestyle. You know, um, everybody don't need to have a business. Running a business is hard. Healthy relationship.
Yes.
If you're not
Yeah.
prepared to run a business, you will destroy your relationship with anybody because it is taxing. You're gonna have days when it ain't making no money, when it's losing money, and you ain't gonna be your best self. You're gonna snap at people. You struggling, and when you cross that grown man status, a lot of us a lot of us, whether we want to admit it or not, we are tied to our pockets. When we feel like we can't contribute, we feel lesser than, and that hurts.
Yes. Come on
So
now.
we become a little bit
Yeah.
more antagonistic. And ladies, we love y'all for wanting to go through it with us, but understand, right now you are asking to be at the worst part of the storm for a lot of us. And it's
Yeah.
the reason that some of us, whether you like the reason or not, we will break up with you because we feel like we are dragging you down because we ain't even at 100. So if we ain't at 100, we can't keep you at 100. And when we in that real relationship with that woman that we really into, we don't want to see her struggle. I can say this personally. It would hurt me. It would hurt me to my soul if Trina told me she had to pick up more hours because I wasn't making enough money. And while I'm
Oh
just
man,
sitting
some gotta
around
give,
playing
bro.
PlayStation, that would bother
Yeah, you
me.
gotta go get it.
Because I'm supposed to be the provider. We talked about this with the whole relationship thing. We're not finna split no bills 50-50. My earning potential is way higher than hers. But for us, it worked that you give me some money for one simple reason. Because I've heard what guys say. If I don't get money from her, the first argument that I turn into a punk, I'm going to say, you ain't even contributing no money. So as long as you give me money, I can't say you ain't helping build this empire because you're investing in it, not just time, but money too. You ain't gotta put what I'm putting in. But as long as you're doing this, I can't never have that argument against you. So let's end that argument. I can't cook, but I will feed us 2 days a week. That way I'm putting some for you. Can't say you always feeding them. And I said that, but however, whatever work for everybody. But when I see, oh man, I'm paying all the bills, I'm paying this, because we hear brothers say it all the time. I'm paying everything. She ain't doing nothing. Nah, I ain't even gonna get a chance to make the argument. Trying to give me X. What's a good dollar amount for you? Just give me that every month. You know, if she don't give it to me, ain't nothing gonna happen. But when she give it to me, we are building. We become a team because we doing the same thing. And that's what worked for me. I heard I'm not gonna be with a man if he can't take care of me and all my bills. Then you got to find a guy who support that theory. This guy doesn't. I don't believe no one person to be responsible for everything in a relationship. Not at all. But what worked for me may not work for Omega. It may not work for LeBron. We all got our different strategies. But at the end of the day, as we talked on the show, it's all about doing something that's healthy and not destructive and not so selfish. So, this is where we are in different phases. And LeBron, how old are you?
I'll be 40. Believe it or not, I'll be 40 next May, man. So I'm still under 40. I got two kids in
Yeah.
college, and I'm under 40.
And, and Omega, how old are you?
I'm 40.
Oh, okay. So yeah, and of course I'm old as shit. So my social security number ain't got 7 digits. But 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 this is the thing, and I tell people all the time. My job now as a man in the man world is to find LeBron and Omega and pass on some information. What they do with that is on them. But it's my job to pass on to them. And it's their job to find some 30-year-olds to pass something on to and 20-year-olds. And we keep passing because it's incumbent upon me to make sure that we got healthy relationship so that LeBron can be one that he said, yeah, I got this from my big brother D. This is the reason I'm doing this. So we passing that on because too many times we like to keep information to ourselves. Or, I heard a couple of dudes say, man, I ain't finna tell no another dude how to do this. I ain't finna tell. Why not? Because you know what? See, I'm gonna share a little personal information. LeBron coming over to the house this weekend because I got my chicken coop coming and I need his pickup truck. But I didn't think twice about asking him what he was
Hey, I
doing.
was country boy.
Hold on, did he call me
Hey,
country?
man. I don't know if you call me country or you country. We both are. If that's the case.
But 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 the thing is and this is part of what brothers got to understand. Even with me and Omega, Omega gonna send me some gin. I'm gonna send him a glass, so we gonna collaborate at that. But me and LeBron gonna this is brothers bonding. We ain't got to go out and drink. We ain't got to go out and chase women. We ain't got to be at the booty club, even though we still going. But right now we got a pandemic. We ain't going. But when it open back up,
Right, right,
please
right,
believe.
right.
Please, here around the corner. And when Omega come, we going to the club. We gonna throw away $75. That's all we throwing away. seventy
Going
five
to the
dollars.
club when I come.
Oh yeah, we going. Pandemic or not,
Two.
we going. But
72.
yeah, but LeBron gonna
So
come this weekend. We gonna put up a chicken coop. See, that's brothers bonding together. You know what I'm saying? He gonna come back next year with my chicken star laying eggs and try to get his free dozen for help me out. And I'm gonna give them to him. But this is another way that brothers can bond. It ain't always gotta be because we going to jump on somebody or we going to do something dirty or we going to drink or we going to harass women. This ain't about that. We can have fun, we can educate each other, we can bond, and we can have healthy relationships with males and females at the same time and build each other up. And ladies, I just need for you, ladies, because I see a bunch of y'all on here, I need for y'all to understand that the biggest input that you got is what Kenny Rogers says. You got to know when to hold and know when to fold and know when to walk
that's
away
right.
and know when to run. Sometimes y'all getting shitty dudes and y'all keep trying to make a shitty dude, y'all keep trying to turn a hoe
Some
into
be
a
not.
husband. And
Hmm.
he a hoe. Just accept that. You tried your best. You can try as hard as you want to. If I don't want it, there's nothing that you gonna do that's gonna make me do it. And I tell dudes the same thing. You gotta understand that. Hey, if she wanna be that way, ain't no need you keep beating your head, talking about what am I doing wrong? What you doing wrong is wasting your time. Sometimes you got to take everything as a learning experience. Some you're gonna win from, some you're gonna learn from. What did the two brothers say? How did we get to become men? We had tough experiences. We had experiences that made us learn. They weren't always polite. Most of them ain't polite when we learn. You play sports. When do you learn the most? When you lose. Learning hurts, and sometimes you got to take that. The woman in your life, whoever, is there to help you become a better person. So you gonna take some bruises. You're gonna be sad for a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months. Get your ass up and keep moving. Take that lesson that you learned and go forward. Because man, she could have been a good one. She could have been a good one. Then what? It, move on.
Hey,
We done all had
hey,
we done all
Darren.
had good ones to move on. Yes, sir.
Let me just say this real quick. I was thinking about it, man. You made a good point earlier about brothers sharing information with each other, man. And I think another thing that men we make the mistake of is we miss the meal because we concerned about the plate. So in other words, the way you deliver that message to me, we so concerned about the delivery, and it got our feelings got involved, and we missed the whole message. And so as men, we got to get past it. And as ladies, I would expect for ladies to at some point understand that that's a process too, right? So understand who your man is. Sometimes, like I'm not going to hear it based on how you said it until I grow and mature to the point that now I can hear your point instead of just hearing your attitude. You know what I mean? Just like as a man, if you say something a certain way, some men don't want to hear it, and I ain't missed the whole meal because you worry about the color of the plate.
And a big thing with
Right.
that is everybody got to be true with themselves.
Right,
Ladies, right now. I'm gonna get to the fellas. Ladies, when you just need a maintenance man, stop promoting him. Let him fix your plumbing and go on about your business.
right, that's right.
Accept your growth. If you don't, if you wanna, and I'm gonna use us because we right here. If you want to sleep with, and I'm gonna use Omega right now because he's the first one. If you want to sleep with Omega, as long as you and Omega on the same court, get it and go on about your business. Y'all ain't gotta be boyfriend and girlfriend. Have a good 2 3 nights and let that be that. It's too many times, and guys do it too because they say what they want to. To me, guys are way more sensitive than women. I ain't never heard two women in the club talking about fighting because somebody stepped on their shoe. Dudes will fight about shoes. I ain't never heard no woman say no shit like that. But you know, pick the right one. When you start seeing signs, quit ignoring them, thinking that he gonna grow up. We don't grow up. We either get better or we get worse, but we don't grow up. And depending on what stage we in, accept that as that. Now, if you're willing to go through 2 3 4 years of misery, hoping he gonna get better, and I'm gonna tell you that shit ain't gonna work. When he get better, he gonna realize he don't want you because you let him be shit for
Mm,
so long. He gonna realize that. He be like, "Oh, I stood with you through this, this, and this. No, you stayed with me when I wasn't shit, and you never tried to make me better." So now, when old Sue's over here said something to me, no, you didn't do nothing. You continue to let me progress and not being shit. You kept your thumb on me. You actually stunted my growth because I was telling somebody, and fella, when we love a woman, what's the easiest way for her to get us to do something that we don't want to do? Close her legs, because now there's no reward. We want her. And when
Facts.
we know that it ain't just about sex, when the woman that we want won't give us sex, we will do anything to make it right. Now, if we just want sex from you and not you, when you don't give us none, we're gonna leave. That's how, ladies. That's how you can tell who you are. But when the woman that we into won't give us none, we're gonna figure out what we did wrong. We're gonna fix that and move forward. If you just that fly by night chick, we just gonna move forward. I mean that's just this man's opinion. And like I said before, I lived my little wild lifestyle, and I can admit that I was a maintenance man. That's my turn. And I was like, well, what she got? Why you work with her? Well, she got potential. You just got coochie. Once I got your coochie, we was done. And oh, you crash. You ain't shit. Why? Because I'm honest with you and telling you the difference. I tried to tell you that when we first started hooking up, but you thought you could sex me into something different. Ladies, you got to take this hint that when you get a real man, that sometimes he gonna say things that you don't like, because sometimes we're at a point where we speak so clearly and so honestly because that's what we are. We don't want to try to figure out a filter to worry about your feelings. We want you to know, because if I try to filter down, babe, I'm not going to take the blame every time. I'm in a bad place. I don't need to be in a relationship. No, I don't need to be in a relationship with you. So this ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? What do you want to do? The sparks are flying. I like you, you like me. Can we knock this out and go on our separate ways? We don't need chick talking about, oh, I can't sleep with you if I don't know your last name. What? You know, but you got to understand the signals that we give out. LeBron, how long you been married? You've been married like
Yeah.
100 years, so you can't tell no stories because I don't want you to get in trouble. But Omega, you still single.
Okay.
You barely single though, Omega. So you can still tell some
Huh?
stories. LeBron
No.
can't.
Oh, no. No.
LeBron
No.
can't
I'm
tell
not single.
none.
I'm not single. Don't
Oh,
get
that's
me in
right. Yeah.
trouble. Don't get me in no
Okay.
trouble.
That's right. 'Cause I
Nah.
saw
Nah.
a name
Nah.
on your thing.
But
But
yeah,
I
how
don't
long you
need
been?
no
but here's the
anything.
thing though. But here's the thing though. Even with that though, man, like I've been married twice. And at the end of the day, sex. I tell people all the time, man. Men can have sex with themselves and then go to sleep. So if a woman think that's enough to keep a man, then you're mistaken. You see what I'm saying? Like if that's your trap, then it can't be it. And at the end of the day,
Right.
we might say whatever you want to hear just so we can accomplish that goal. But at the end of the day, that ain't the answer. It's really about compatibility, truthfully. If you're not pushing
Right.
that person, if he's not pushing you, and I'm not saying be his mother or he be your father, what I'm talking about is you guys are causing each other to want to grow in whatever way you're trying to grow.
What you
Yeah.
finna say, Omega?
No, I was just agreeing with him. I just as far as when it comes to sex, uh, it, I'm trying to say it so that it's as least offensive as possible. Well, I'm just gonna say it how I would usually say it if y'all was sitting with me right now. I'm just gonna say it. If you show me the woman with the best pussy on the planet, and I show you 10 men tired of fucking her.
Yep.
So
There it
And
is.
if you have the mentality that your sex is going to cause a man to do anything, yes, y'all sex is great. Yes, we love it. Yes, we enjoy y'all. I'm no in no way diminishing y'all skills and the power of the PUSSY. I'm just simply saying that'll get us in the door. That's not gonna keep us in the house though.
Right,
exactly. And that's why I said,
right,
for the woman that we care about, when she denies us sex, for the one we care about, we're gonna do whatever it takes to get back in there, because now, as you get older, it is more than just a physical connection. It's part of the bigger picture. But for that chick, when she don't give us none, we on to the next one. And
right.
and ladies, you
Right.
got to understand how that plays a role. If you just a fly by night chick, or you miss right now, you withholding sex don't mean nothing to neither one of us. Cause I got
Right.
another number on speed dial. But and like I can use Trina. I started cutting women off when I knew I wanted to be with Trina. I never even told her, but I wanted to be with Trina. Period. Did I ever think about other women? Absolutely. But was I gonna risk them for Trina? Absolutely not. And it's like y'all don't get what's so special about her. Can't tell you. All I know is whatever it is about her, it works for me in a way that whatever you was doing didn't work. Just run with that. Well, what's she doing
It could
that?
be timing.
She her. Shit. It's the woman I'm attracted to, not the box. The box is a super
Hmm.
bonus. Woman is the prize. And you know, and and I see women because I think women are more destructive toward each other because it just seemed like it just seemed like they got more shit to say about each other when you pick one over another one. Like I said, guys are sensitive. Like I said, because we will fight about you stepping on our shoes, which I ain't never understood. But when we trying to do the healthy relationship, ladies, you got to help with it sometimes too. ML Smith talked about women being damaged. Men are damaged too, and
Yeah.
the best thing about this good healthy relationship part is, these two dudes, like I said, hey, anytime they want something, need something, we can talk. But growing up, we didn't know how to talk to brothers who was going through something. Our whole thing
Right.
was, let's go to the strip club, let's get drunk or something else. It wasn't, we don't have sit and cry moments together. We can't eat bonbon. I don't want Omega crying in front of me and I don't know we didn't know what to do. Part of healthy relationships is being able to have that brother that you can talk to
That's right.
when shit going wrong. We never had that. And I'm gonna speak for them because they're younger than me. They probably never even saw it growing up because we were told to man up, toughen up, real men don't cry, whatever BS. And we love our mamas, but they gave us some BS for that real men don't cry shit and toughen up. But you know,
Right.
as we're getting into healthier relationships, and I tell brothers, man, sometimes you just gotta sit there and beat up for your brother. You know, shit. No, I ain't finna sit there and hold nobody hand. We ain't that cool. I ain't there yet. But if a brother need to talk to me and shed a tear too, yeah, I can be there to listen for him because that's something that we never had, and we got to get into
Hey,
that. Once we understand that as men, it makes us better. Go ahead, Elvie.
hey, Dan, I'm gonna just share a real quick story, real quick, man. To that point. So my father told me a story of him wrecking his father's truck, right? My grandfather's truck. And my grandfather, instead of saying, "Hey, son, are you okay?" his response was, "Boy, you tore up my truck." Right? Now, fast forward, me and my father talking, I had my little heart broken or whatever. And my dad's like, "Hey, man, suck it up. What you talking about? It's plenty, da 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 da." And
Right.
my response to him is, "I'm not you." Right? And so, and the reason I point that out is to say that every generation has got to evolve, right? And as a man, you know your weaknesses, and you also know that you cannot pass those weaknesses on to your children, at least not because of the way they're socialized. And so that's the responsibility. And ladies should be aware of that. Any man is not aware of his own weaknesses, it's probably not the dude you want to be messing with. He may not admit it to you, but if you see that man working on those weaknesses, you see him addressing those weaknesses, you see him doing something about those weaknesses, that's a good indication that he's striving toward that growth, right? It's not your job to fix. It's our
Agreed.
job as other men to sharpen that iron. But recognize it. It's y'all's responsibility to recognize it. You know what I
And
mean?
it's their
Agreed.
responsibility not to tell us to man up. I
Well,
was
that's
telling
right.
somebody I did a show yesterday, and I say I don't know not nan grown man who ain't never ever needed to not ball up and cry because we just having a moment. Needed to lay his head on his woman's lap and just have his head rubbed the show and just be nobody. Let us be a baby for 20, 30 minutes. Every man that I know of has had that moment. And we just need you to be there. Don't ask us what's wrong. Just comfort us like we comfort you. Because sometimes we need that. And that's something that's missing
Yeah.
because women's like, what's wrong? Babe, just let me get these 20 minutes to process everything, bad, whatever it is. But right now, I ain't at 100. I ain't at 80. Right now I'm at 20. I just need my batteries re-energized. Just let me just lay here and feel safe and secure like you do. But we don't know how to ask for that. And more importantly, most women don't know how to just give it because
Right.
once they see once they see us in this superhero light, sometimes we don't want to let them know we got a Clark Kent side. But
Hmm.
that Clark Kent side is there, and we have to figure out how to do it without the threat of feeling like we losing our masculinity. And like I say,
We
ladies, you
gotta
got to
trust
understand.
you.
Sometimes, yeah, that when we want
Yeah.
to,
It's all about
fellas,
trust.
men, we want to let our guard down, but we know we can't because you gonna always tell us to man up. So we don't feel safe. We don't feel safe crying in front of you. You know, your man in the bathroom for too long. He done flushed the toilet 20 minutes ago. He just need that alone time. But he can't get it with you because you still ain't giving him that permission to say, baby, it's okay. If you need to cry, just, lay your head down. I'm gonna watch CNN or crochet, whatever it is, but just lay there and feel safe and secure in your woman. Let know that your woman got you for real, for real. I see, and that's something that a lot of people don't know that we need, because I ain't met nobody who didn't need it. And I ain't talking about when our mama died or nothing like that. I'm just saying in general, we have moments where we want to be consoled for seemingly no reason, because we can't tell you what's wrong. We just know that we're down, and we need we need you to be our Red Bull for the moment. Um, and that's one thing. The guy was like, "Man," he said, "I just went through that, and I didn't even know that's what I need." And I was like, because most of us we don't talk about our deficiencies, and once you know your weaknesses, it's easy to improve upon them. When you don't know none, and you think you invent everything that you come in is got a chance to bring you down because you don't know where to protect yourself from. And again, this is part of being healthy. And when you find the right woman, all three of us are in relationships. Like, don't be inboxing us unless you're really cute and fine. Anyway. Uh, but this
Unless
is,
you need a PR, then you inbox me.
yeah, cause he gonna investigate you. And Trina get to see everything. So if you ain't cute and fine, I get harassed about it. She like, is the ugly girl really sending you naked pictures? I ain't got time for that. If you ugly and you know it, don't send me no naked pictures. Trina got my inbox. Don't do it. Just don't do it. But we want that strong woman. We want that woman who can take up the slack when we need to sleep for an extra 20, 30 minutes.
Right.
We need that. We need that. It makes
Yeah.
us better men when we know we can relax and let our hair down, and we ain't gotta be strong 24/7. What you got, Omega?
Right.
hmm Nah, I just as you say the inbox, I'm just laughing. It's funny.
So,
Yeah, but you know
hey,
what though, Darren?
what's up?
But I will tell you this though. That's a good point that you make too. So a woman can really get to see what kind of man she's dealing with based on how he responds to that kind of thing, right? Because every man is not prepared for a woman that's strong enough to have your back. I know that sounds crazy. I'm gonna say it again. Every woman's not prepared for a woman that's strong enough to have your back. All right. So in other words, some men can't handle it. Some feel like it's intimidating, or you're trying to tell them what to do, or you're trying to control their lives. All right. And then some women are intimidated to even step out there and be strong enough for your man to be vulnerable. So that's how you know what you're really working with. If you are supporting your man and he's has the opportunity to be vulnerable and he can't handle it, then maybe he's not ready for that yet. Maybe he needs to get sharpened a little bit more with some other iron, some other men, some other experiences, right? And the same thing is
Yeah,
true for the women.
agreed.
Maybe you're not ready to be strong enough for a man like that. If you feel like, oh my God, why am I sitting there trying to do this for him? Why can't he do this for himself? Then you're not looking for a man. You're looking for a boy or somebody you can mold to be what you want him to be. It
Right.
takes both, right? And it's a
Yeah.
balance.
That Captain Save a whole
I
cat
would say
is.
this. I just
Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say. For me, I would say, or I always say that being a man or being a real man has absolutely nothing to do with a woman. And I think it's important for a man to understand that, and I think it's important for women to understand that. So I am going to either be a man or not be a man, regardless of how well you love me, how well you cook, how well you
That's
clean
right.
up behind me, how well you let me be free. It don't matter how great you are. You know what I'm saying? It's my manhood and my masculinity has nothing to do with the woman. It's strictly about me being a man. And I would just encourage,
Exactly.
what I'm saying, the women who may hear this to understand that me being, it's not about you, it's not your fault, and
It's
it's
not
not your
about you.
job, or yeah, it's not your job to do that. I got to do that on my own. And so, like I say, a man needs that space to be able to grow and figure it out, because like we said earlier, a lot of us are learning on the fly and learning as we go. But that's just the one thing that I would say. Like, we as men are definitely not only learning as we go on the fly, but we need the space to be able to make mistakes, and just understanding that are not a monolith. My mistake is not the same mistake that your last boyfriend made. My,
Facts.
uh, the phone number you found in my pocket is not the same baby that he had. You know what I'm saying? Or so even though the phone number is wrong, but saying it could be a certain reason for that, or whatever the case may be. I might be doing business, I might be doing whatever. I'm just simply saying, you know, I don't want to make it as though we as men are perfect and the women are tripping. So that's what I'm saying. Even if you find something that's wrong, even if we do make a mistake, even if we do something, my mistake is independent from everything else that's happened in your life. You understand what I'm saying? I think that we need a space to be able to, um, when those mistakes happen, it be understood that, okay, if you're punishing me for this mistake, then I am being punished for this mistake for what I did. And one, I not only don't want to be punished for somebody else's mistake. If I did something wrong, I definitely don't want to be punished for somebody else's mistake and I've done nothing wrong, which happens a lot. You know what I mean? A lot of times you're catching, as your woman gets stronger and she builds up, she's flexing muscles that she never flexed before. A lot of times those muscles get flexed on you and you catching the flack of what, what I'm saying, the last guy, the last guy would walk in the house and say, shut up, bitch, and da 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 da. You would never do that. So a lot of times you get a lot of the boldness that he should have got. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And,
Right.
and
And
I
I
just think
call
that
that the Todd
So
effect.
women need to go. Go ahead.
I call that the Todd effect. Don't treat me like the other damn dude. He made mistakes. Our mistakes may look alike, but don't bring your venom from him to me because I did this, and this
Right.
is why it's important that we know how. I don't need to know their past. Yes, you do. I need to know why certain things trigger you, so I know why I shouldn't do them. I dated a girl one time who didn't like pillow fights, and I couldn't figure out why. Then she told me. She said one of her boyfriends tried to smother her with a pillow. So pillow fights made her apprehensive. Because other than that, I'm like, who don't like a good pillow fight? We going at it. But I hit her with the pillow one time because she did something. She just kind of, and it's like, you'd have thought I punched in the face. What? And she broke out in tears, and she finally told me later. But how would I have known that? Oh, I don't want to know nothing about your past. It's like, we got to get beyond that. I need to know who you are. I don't want to hold you accountable for things. I don't want you to hold me up accountable for things. So let's have these conversations because I don't want you to treat me like the other damn dude because he did this. Oh, I don't like. Every time he bought me a gift, he was punching me. And we got to kind of know. We got to know these things about you so that we know how to deal with them. So you know how to deal with us. Once we decide that we're going to do this relationship, there is vulnerability to be shared. Know that these are the things that affect me, and hell, you may even point out some things that affect me that I never paid attention to. Every time I say this is what you do. But then let me pay attention. Let me figure out why. Because sometimes we're just like kids. Things that hurt us, we will try to shield ourselves from them, not knowing that we have an
that's right.
involuntary reaction until we address them. And ladies, if you choose, if we choose to open that door with you, if we choose to open that door with you, understand the same rule that applies to you applies to us. Don't ever use that against us in an argument, because once that's out, we're counting backwards. This ain't gonna last because I can't trust you with who I was or my vulnerabilities
That's right.
because you're
That's
gonna
right.
fight.
That's
And
right.
y'all don't want us to bring them up. We don't want y'all to bring them up. So realize if you get that hurt to bring it up, go on and start packing your shit. We got 3 or 4 more good sex sessions left. Then we're gonna be out.
You gonna get that
Um,
last one in, huh? Hey, but Darren, let me tell you this, and this is to Brother Omega's point, man, because you made a great one, a couple of great ones, and the one that sticks in my mind is you're right. Men are not monolithic, right? So, but there's one thing that I think, and this is just my opinion, but there's one thing that I think all good men, and I use the term good loosely, right? But all good men should have this one character trait, and that is our desire to get better at something. If you're not driving to get
Right.
better at something, then there is no room for growth. And if there's no room for growth, then you got whatever you're stuck with. However it comes is how it's going to be. But the man that's always driving to get better at something, that's the guy that's going to always be willing to grow in some other ways too. You see what I'm saying? And that's just my personal opinion. I don't
Yeah,
know, brother, tell me what you think.
I
but that's
definitely
that
agree
thing
with
where
that.
you gotta know that that's the woman for you then. Because if she's not inspiring that for you, then you gotta realize y'all just in a sexual relationship. You don't want to get better for her.
Right.
You gotta understand
Yeah.
now that what you're receiving ain't what you need. She's filling a time slot, not a life slot. And that's
Hmm.
what we have to start being more honest with ourselves, because we've made bad decisions about good women. We've made good decisions about bad women. We have to start taking
Well,
accountability and knowing us. Why am I doing this? Why? What do make sense? A woman can't make me. No woman can make me be a king. No woman can make me be a gentleman. I'm a gentleman because I'm a gentleman.
That's
And
right.
you know what?
yeah,
If you got a problem with me opening that door, then this ain't a good relationship for you, because you're not gonna take that from me. I'm gonna open doors. If you got a problem that if you're that strong and independent, go on and go to the next dude, because this ain't what we finna fight about. And I told Trina, hey, one of the decisions, I ain't trying to force no woman to be a queen, but to be my queen, there's certain criteria they're gonna have to meet, and they're gonna meet them silently, because I'm not finna give you the playbook.
Right.
Trina wasn't used to God opening doors, but once she got it, Trina will sit there like my mom. She ain't opening the damn door. If it ain't raining hard, which is the rule, if it ain't raining hard, Trina ain't opening that door. And but that's what she's supposed to be, because I'm from the South. That was one of them things that we do. Northerners don't do it a
Hmm.
whole lot, and I got why she didn't do it, because I ran across other women. But she man, we be placing that. She'll smack another woman hand for opening the door if I'm too close to him. She's like, "Oh, don't do that, because he'll get mad." You know, but you can't take that from me. That's who I am. And a woman can't make me nobody.
yeah,
She can help make it better, but I'm gonna be me regardless. That's the whole process of being the man. We have to
Hmm.
yeah.
exert our will sometimes, because that's how you get
And I
good submission.
and I also say this. I think a lot of time as men, our bad choices come from um, uh, our own, I'll say, self hatred and or insecurities, which is why
Yeah.
we pick the women that we choose, because honestly, as much as we want to say we're all independent, we actually are dependent on each other in these relationships, and we are reflections of each other. And the woman that you choose, in the same way, if you were to say um, a woman keeps picking an abusive man over and over, then there's something wrong. Then you have to also say in the reverse, if a man keeps picking a woman that's no good over and over again, there's something inherently wrong with him.
Hmm.
You see what I'm
I
saying?
agree
So
with that.
I would just simply
100%.
say that, and a major problem, and I want to hear y'all's points on this. I think a major problem that we as men have in relationships, and why we cannot create healthy relationships, is because we put more value on a woman's vagina than we put on our own penis. What do y'all
Hmm.
think?
I don't disagree with that. And I'll tell you why I say that. It's because we don't realize until you have an experience where now you have an offspring that you're responsible for raising, or you mess around and realize you get hooked up with somebody that's completely nuts, and you shouldn't have even messed with them in the first place. We don't even realize that it matters. For us, it's just a physical thing, and then you move on. And then all of a sudden you
Hmm.
realize, and that's the lesson I learned, right? So, and I'm just speaking from experience, I'm not getting ready to have sex with somebody that I can't see myself being with. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because and the reason being is because so for so long, men have not been held accountable to ourselves by ourselves. I'm not talking about the court system or some woman saying that, oh, you should take care of your kids. No, we haven't held ourselves accountable for the decisions we make with our own bodies. Right. Once you let that go, it's over. You get no more say in what happens next, whether it's child support, whether it's happy relationship forever and ever. You have no more real say until you fight for it. So I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
And Roy says a
What you
woman
think,
can
D?
motivate a man. Hold on. Roy says a woman can motivate a man to be better just by her being in his life. Ladies, if you have to
Hmm.
do things to push him to start, then it won't work most of the time. Because we don't need to be pushed. We just need a little gentle nudge. When we're there, we're there. We are there. We want to, most of us want to be that true protector and provider. If you got to tell me I'm not making you feel protected and provided, that's probably a clue. That's probably one of the biggest clues.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't even know what we are doing, but I guarantee all of us that have been in every relationship that didn't work, we can look back and see where we saw a sign early and we just chose to overlook it,
Hmm.
because whether it was the sex, whether because we was in a bad place, whether because we needed a place to stay, whatever our reason was, there was a reason, and we overlooked it. because our needs suppress what we wanted. I need this, or whatever it is. Sometimes we just don't want to be alone, and whoever's there is the lucky one for the night. Um,
Right.
but fella,
A lot of
we
times
down
so,
to the last, yeah, we down to the last 3 minutes. So I enjoyed this with y'all. I've been trying to get Omega on him for a minute because I'm gonna make sure I'm keep pushing him to do his own thing. Because one, the young fella is fun as hell, and he got a lot. He got a lot to say, and I appreciate it. Him being 40, I didn't know he was 40. But he says things that make me think more. And I don't want to be old and outdated, so I need the younger fellas who don't speak in slang to talk, so I get to
uh,
understand. So I want y'all to give us your
I
closing
appreciate you,
shots.
bro.
I want to make sure that you talk about that gin again and tell people how to find you and follow you, sir. Go. Let me start with you, Omega.
Okay, we'll do. Um, just last thing on the way out, I just want to say is, as men, it's our responsibility to build healthy relationships. Just for the simple fact of, if you are a king, you are responsible for your kingdom. You are responsible for the people you appoint, your lords, your dukes. You're responsible for the friends you choose, the woman that you choose, and therefore, if you're in a bad situation, I think that we as men need to get away from blaming the woman for a bad situation, and just recognize that we have created something that is not good for our kingdom. As far as the gin, like I said, man, this right here is a prototype. I don't know how to get it in there. It's a citrus berry gin. Tastes wonderful, 100 proof, 50% by volume. Um, Great for mixed drinks. Those of you that don't know, gin is the highest mixed drink in the world. Most people would think that is vodka, but it's actually gin. You can reach us. The name of our gin is Sankofa Gin. Our company is Sankofa Bottling Company. You can find us at sankofabottlingcompany.com. Sankofa Bottling Company on Instagram, Sankofa Gin on Facebook. You can reach me at Omega Black on Facebook. Um Alpha and Omega, follow my page, please. I'm gonna definitely listen to my big brother and start doing a lot more and being a lot more active on that page. So that's pretty much it. Sankofa Bottling Company, Sankofa. If you feel like doing a little homework, you got nothing to do, Google what Sankofa means.
All right, and I put sankofabottlingcompany.com in the comments. What else? You said another Sankofa. What else was it?
Sankofa Gin is the Facebook page, Sankofa Gin. And then we got Sankofa Bottling Company on Instagram as well. On Sankofa, www.bottlingcompany.com, we are in the process of launching our site, but as of right now, you can still go on and see some of the things we got planned coming up. And we are not able to bottles online yet, but that should be in about 2 weeks. We'll be up and ready to sell. But you can find merchandise, products, um, just to show support. And like I said, I appreciate all the support that I've received so far, and the support that I'm sure that my friends and family will continue to do.
That's what's up. LeBron, come on in. Let me see what you got, bro.
All right. So just in closing, I want to say this, and this is for ladies and gentlemen alike. It's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. And so I would just encourage everybody to take on the challenge of growth, because growth is designed to challenge you, but it's worth it. Anybody that's ever been through anything can look back at it and be so proud of themselves that they were able to accomplish whatever that task was. So I would encourage all the young men out there and older men, don't be afraid of the challenge of growth. For the women, don't be afraid of the challenge of understanding what it is you're really looking for or expecting. And I would love to be able to share my opinions at any opportunity, but that's just not the way life works. So find someone whose opinions you trust, and talk to them. As far as the company, obviously discretion is important in my line of work, so I don't have a lot of social media access necessarily, but you can definitely contact me through a direct message through Facebook or through www.lighthousepi.org. And again, It ranges from any of the private investigatory needs that could range from criminal cases to civil cases, family courts, and the like, but also, and probably more importantly, a network of attorneys that can assist you in trying to accomplish whatever those goals may be. So look forward to hearing from you guys, and look forward, Darren, to seeing you Saturday. Don't laugh, Omega. Yeah, we will do the chicken coop. It's legit.
Is there chicken coming next
man.
week
I'm
too?
gonna get some eggs too, man. I need some
Hey,
eggs.
hey,
I'm
man.
telling you, it'll be important later.
egg,
Trust me.
fresh egg. I tell you, I'm
Man,
about that
I'm
life,
with it.
man.
I'm with it.
I can't keep promoting us to be self sufficient if I ain't leading the way. You know
There
what I'm
you
saying?
go.
Then
That's what it's about.
I'm telling everybody what they need to do, but I
Man,
ain't
I'm
doing
actually
none of it. So
I'm actually looking at some land, kind of down your way, man. I'm looking at land in Florida, but I'm definitely looking trying to get me a land, man. I'm gonna come and get some of your chickens, man. Give me
hey,
two
man,
of them. I'ma made them. We'll figure it out. I figure if I leave them in the room by themselves, they know what to do, right?
oh no, hey man,
There are only ways for
hey man,
humans, I think.
I,
Humans and dolphins.
I'm gonna just share this with you because I didn't know. You know, chickens will have eggs without the hen only makes the egg a baby. When they have the eggs are edible. They don't have embryo in them. They need they need a rooster to make an embryo. They gonna have the bed. They gonna have the
Okay.
egg. Yeah, these chickens have eggs every day. So yeah,
So how do
I
you
know
know
way
the
too much
difference
to be a hood
between it? Can you tell the difference between the two?
between what
Same
two?
way you can tell the difference between the two for humans.
No,
No, I'm
if
saying like
they're
if you're looking at the egg, can
I
you
know what
know
you
which egg
mean.
is fertilized and which one not?
well, if you don't have a rooster, ain't none of them fertilized. But yeah, if you hold up to a light, you can tell them between an embryo and just a yolk.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
Oh yeah, I know
all
way
right.
too much now, bro. I know way too much. But yeah,
I need
y'all know
me a
what it is.
rooster there, man.
Now roosters don't make you no money. You want the hens. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me.
Hey man,
We
I'll be
spent a good
selling rooster
2 hours.
skeet.
We thank you, Carl. Look, these two gentlemen, I'm gonna have to block them both. I thank you guys for spending your Wednesday with me. We'll be back in 6 days and 22 hours and some change. If y'all got a topic y'all want me to talk about or do some research on, please feel free to inbox me at Random Thoughts with DVP or either one of my personal pages. If you happen to know my number, shoot me a text if I ain't blocked you, Ryan Omega. Because I'm gonna block y'all.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Ziploc bags.
we gonna continue to do what we do. And like LeBron said, hey, get information from somewhere. If it ain't got to be somebody who you like. Just know that whoever you
Right.
get information is
Right.
a knowledgeable source. Because a lot of times we don't like people who know more than us. We're jealous like that sometimes. But if they give out credible information, use them. Get more information. Do some research from yourself. We all got Google now. It ain't much that you cannot Google to find out if it's factual or not. But no matter what you do, get out there and vote so that your voice will count. That way, if you don't like what's happening, you get the right to bitch. If you don't vote, you can't bitch. You just got to STFU and keep it moving. So with that,
Facts.
I'm going to say, Little Things by Khalil. Get you one. Engraved,
Hey, I
monogram,
need one.
blinged out. She taking orders all the time. They get shipped within the same week, even with the USPS doing what they doing. But until next week, y'all know what it is. Peace, popcorn, and chicken grease. And we out.
Now, you can live in Texas and not have a good red meat blend. Texas Cowboy Dust is designed for steak and other red meats. It's out to be my most popular spice blend, made with onions, peppers, ground mushrooms, pink salt, and other